Today on Public Eye News, a warning about thin ice in Munising. An Ohio man has been charged for illegally climbing the Mackinac Bridge last fall. Later in the show, I'll have your weather, and Devontae Stein will be back here for some more sports updates. I am Ross Ray, and welcome to Public Eye News. The Alger County Sheriff's Office has a warning of thin ice near Grand Island and Munising. According to the office, the ice conditions on the east side of the island near and around the East Channel Lighthouse is in very poor condition. They are advising the public not to go out on the ice tonight. Recent changes have been made to the upcoming Founders Landing Pier project in Marquette. The Marquette City Commission met virtually last evening to discuss the project for the first time in nearly a year, with the project's goal being to restore and reuse the old pier along Lake Superior. GEI project manager and engineer George Meister proposed schematics to the commission, each coming within $100,000 of the current $5.6 million budget. The City Commission did not vote on the designs, but the members agreed they want two separate piers to be constructed, both for function and for potential community events. 25-year-old Isaac Kendall Wright of Cincinnati, Ohio, was recently charged after he allegedly climbed the Mackinac Bridge back in November. He was brought to court in Sheboygan County and was charged with felony to trespass upon key transportation facility after he trespassed on the bridge on November 5th. Wright was arrested after he was seen on surveillance footage, and photos from atop the South Tower were found on his social media. Wright currently remains lodged at Hamilton County Jail in Ohio. And the National Weather Service is reporting Lake Superior is now 40% frozen over. The NWS said the sudden freeze took place in the last 2 weeks with a very mild start to the winter. The consistent sub-zero temperatures quickly froze parts of the Big Lake, including the recently popular Lower Harbor and Marquette. Meteorologists say Superior has been seen with highs and lows of ice coverage over the years, with 2019 reaching about 95% coverage. The NWS and loss officials do advise caution when walking on any frozen surface, as they can rapidly change. And President Biden is scheduled to visit a facility in Portage, Michigan today where the Pfizer vaccine is being made. The president's administration continues to push for his $1.9 trillion COVID relief package that the House of Representatives will likely vote on this upcoming week. Deborah Alfrone has the latest from Washington.
Host President Biden today at its vaccine manufacturing facility in Portage, Michigan.
He'll be very impressed, as I have been, with the quality of the workers, the job that they're doing.
Winter weather has caused a slowdown of vaccine shipments and deliveries in recent days, forcing cancellations or delays of vaccine appointments in at least 32 states. California's Disneyland, a mega vaccination site, is now closed until more doses arrive. Add to that new economic pain. This week, unemployment claims rose higher than expected. San Francisco business owner Johnny Metheny had to permanently close his restaurant.
We had 19 employees that unfortunately we had to lay off. And it's devastating for them, and it just crushes me, it hurts me. Treasury
Secretary Janet Yellen believes Mr. Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill is a big part of the solution.
We're digging out of a deep hole. Last year was the worst year for economic growth since World War II.
The House hopes to vote on the president's stimulus plan a week from today before sending it on to the Senate. Democrats want to approve it before some benefits from the first round of pandemic aid expire on March 14th.
And while the president has promised vaccine shots for all Americans to be distributed by the middle of the summer, normalcy is still a way off, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci.
By the end of the year, by Christmas.
He says until then, Americans should continue to wear masks and social distance. Deborah Alfrone, CBS News, Washington.
And don't go too far, because after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
And that's the thing about life, you know. How can it be? It's 50 years ago. Seems like yesterday now that I'm talking about it. I see their faces. Everybody I'm talking about appears to me.
Anatomy 59, coming Sunday, February 28th at 8:30.
Welcome back. After a powerful earthquake hit Fukushima, Japan last weekend, the cooling water levels have fallen in 2 reactors at the wrecked Fukushima nuclear plant. The possible new damage to the plant could further complicate the already difficult decommissioning process, which is expected to take decades. The process started after a powerful 9.1 magnitude earthquake and subsequent tsunami hit the plant back in 2011, causing 3 reactor cores to melt and nuclear fuel to fall to the bottom of their primary containment vessels. Tokyo Electric Power Company stated that they will monitor the water and temperatures at the bottom of the containment vessels for any changing conditions. And more town of Campbell wells have tested positive for the dangerous chemical known as PFAS. These wells are outside of the original and expanded testing area, this time including public buildings. The town board is asking the city of La Crosse, Washington to help once again. Amy DuPont has more of this worrying story.
I'll make a motion that we draft a letter to the city.
Town of Campbell board members hope by putting pen to paper, they can help homeowners scared their wells are contaminated with a dangerous compound called PFAS. The man-made compound was used to produce the firefighting foam sprayed at the La Crosse airport for decades. This fall, the city of La Crosse learned PFAS in the ground at the airport spread, according to the city's own tests, to more than 100 private wells. The PFAS levels in nearly half of the homes are so high, the Department of Health Services says the water is unsafe to drink, cook with, or use to brush your teeth.
A decrease in fertility in women, increase of the risk of some types of cancers, and the increase in the risk of thyroid diseases.
The city of La Crosse is only testing wells in the areas it believes the chemical spread. In December, the town of Campbell asked the city to test the entire island. The city said no. Since then, homeowners outside the city's testing area have paid up to $425 out of pocket for their own test. At least one, according to the town board, exceeded the DNR and Department of Health Services proposed standard.
The result column is the one to pay attention to. With any concentrations that are over 20, the recommendation would be made to seek an alternative water source.
The town also tested 3 of its wells in public buildings outside the city's testing area at the town hall, the community center, and the library. All 3 tested positive for PFAS, with the level in the library above the proposed safe standard.
We do recommend people utilize an alternate source of drinking water, whether that's a bottled water or through a treatment device.
After receiving its results,
and all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
The town voted to ask the city to expand its testing area again, demanding safe water for homeowners with contaminated wells.
I'm a private well owner, so I completely understand the stakes.
And peace of mind for everyone else. In the town of Campbell, Amy DuPont, News 8 Now.
And don't touch that dial, because after the break, I'll meet you over at the Winter Center, and Devontae Stein will be back here for your sports update.
What it means to be American is to take to the road.
Mobility is essential to freedom. Discovery, freedom.
The notion of driving while black reminds us that that's not available to all Americans.
To be able to move freely. We live in a country where it's never been everybody's right.
There are still so many dangers.
We have to engage history with a kind of brutal honesty.
Tonight at 9.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. Behind me at the Academic Mall, we have some snow on the ground and some sun in the sky. Those are pretty positive things, as we are going to be having some warmer temperatures coming up here in the upcoming days. Looking at our current conditions, we have a bit of snow in the sky right now with a temperature of 19 degrees, our winds north at 6 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 30.10 and steady. Looking at later tonight, we're going to have a little bit more snow on the ground, low of 6 degrees, a bit of chilly there, and our winds west at 5 miles an hour. Going on to tomorrow, that sunshine is going to be popping right up there in the sky with our high of 24 degrees and our winds south at 5 miles per hour. Now, looking across the UP here, we have a lot of clouds and a lot of snow, but we're going to start all the way here at Sault Ste. Marie at 27 and cloudy. 25 and cloudy at Manistee, Escanabas, picking up where Sault Ste. Marie's leaving down, starting at 27 and cloudy. And down south, we have 23 and snowy over at Menominee. On the other half of our UP, we have some more clouds and a bit more snow. 22 at Iron Mountain, 14 over at Iron One, all the way up and home. It's going to be 19 and cloudy. And back here in Marquette, it's going to be 19 and snowy. Let's look at your week ahead. On Sunday, it's going to be high of 29, low of 18 and partially sunny. On Monday, high of 35, low of 28 and mostly sunny. And on Tuesday, we're going to hit our warmest temperature as of yet, 37 as your high and a low of 23 and some mostly sunny skies. That is all for weather, and we're going to toss it over to Devontae here with some sports.
Thanks, Ross. The NMU swim and dive team wrapped up their second day of competition today in the GLIAC Championships, with the women's team ending the day in second with 288 points, while the men's team finished the day in third with 266.5 points. Yesterday in their action, Andre Zak finished second in the 1,000-yard freestyle with a time of 9 minutes, 9 seconds, and 98 milliseconds, earning an NCAA B standard and breaking his own school record. The Wildcats will return to the pool tomorrow morning at the Holland Aquatic Center for Day 3 of the GLIAC Championships, with preliminaries beginning at 9:45 a.m. and finals starting at 6:40 p.m. Good luck, Wildcats. Last night, LeBron James became just the third player in NBA history to reach 35,000 career points, now only trailing Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who holds the record with 38,387. LeBron now in his 18th season in the league, showing no signs of slowing down as he is averaging at least 25.9 points per game, which continues his trend of 17 consecutive seasons of averaging at least 25 points per game. If keeping this same pace of averaging at least 25 points per game heading forward, LeBron would need to play in roughly 134 more regular season games, or roughly play another 2 seasons after this one, to reach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and take the record as the all-time NBA scoring champion, a record that has stood for 32 years now. LeBron was also named to his 17th All-Star appearance last night, only trailing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has 19, and Kobe Bryant with 18. Unfortunately for LeBron, the night didn't end in celebration as the Brooklyn Nets defeated the Lakers 109-98 at the Staples Center. Continuing into the rest of last night's NBA action in a short slate of games, the Miami Heat on the road took down the Sacramento Kings 118-110 behind a triple-double from Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Adebayo would finish with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, while Butler would finish with 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists. The Toronto Raptors went on the road again and outplayed the Milwaukee Bucks on their way to a 110-96 win. The Bigs getting it done for the Raptors as Norman Powell would score for 29 points and Pascal Siakam would score 27. Reigning MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo tried to keep the Bucks in it for as long as possible with 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. Looking to tonight, we have a 9-game slate for tonight with the Detroit Pistons taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, the Chicago Bulls at the Philadelphia 76ers, the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, the Utah Jazz facing off against the LA Clippers, the Toronto Raptors facing off against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Phoenix Suns versus the New Orleans Pelicans, the Atlanta Hawks against the Boston Celtics, the Denver Nuggets will face off against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and finally the Golden State Warriors will take on the Orlando Magic. Now over to one more interesting story for the day. This dog won't be having as rough of a time after her owner recently passed away. That's because 8-year-old Border Collie Lulu just inherited $5 million in her owner's will. Lulu's caretaker Martha Burton told News Channel 5 Nashville that Lulu's owner, Bill Doris, stated in his will that the money should be put in a trust fund for Lulu's care. It also allows for Burton to be reimbursed for reasonable monthly expenses in the care of Lulu. In response to the will, Burton said, quote, "He just really loved the dog," end quote. And that's all the time I have for you today in Public Eye News. Thank you for tuning in to This Week, and we will see you again next week.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.